Money stabilizes when your nervous system stops fighting itself. First of all, as I have in all of these videos in the Money and Somatic series, let me start by naming this is not about you being bad with money. It's not about your lack of drive or intelligence. You probably don't even see yourself as someone who struggles. And yet there may be patterns that you can feel and sense, but you can't quite stabilize. Not because you're missing a dominant strength, but because the same nervous system orientation keeps getting used for problems it wasn't designed to solve. You might try to decide everything with sensitivity, or you might adapt when commitment is required. You'll explain when open presence would have done more, or you push when timing nuance was the real issue. Money doesn't break because you're missing something. It breaks because your system might not have range. Before we go further, because it will help you hear everything I'm going to share more clearly, if you haven't taken the Somatic Skins quiz assessment, it's linked below in the description. It's not advice, it's not a label, it's orientation. It'll show you which nervous system you tend to lead with, so you can see where money naturally moves with you and where it tends to get harder than it needs to be. Now, the core idea for this final video is simple. Sustainable money doesn't come from mastering one skin. It comes from being able to shift orientations as conditions change. Early on, people often make money by leaning hard on their dominant orientation, and that works for a while. But what got you here won't get you there, and eventually the same strength becomes a bottleneck. Pressure-only systems burn out. Adaptation-only systems scatter. Clarity-only systems stall. Care-only systems under-receive. At a certain point, money starts asking for something else. Not a new strategy, a broader nervous system. And that's where integration matters. Integration doesn't mean becoming balanced or neutral, and it doesn't mean flattening your strengths or becoming good at everything all at the same time. It means being able to access the right orientation when that moment calls for it. There are moments in money making that require warrior capacity, holding pressure, deciding, finishing. There are moments that require shapeshifter capacity, sensing timing, pivoting, responding to change. There are moments that require sage capacity, naming what's actually happening, creating trust through clarity. And there are moments that require asset capacity, creating safety, connection, and rich experience. The problem isn't that people lack these capacities. It's that they don't come online or they're not accessible reliably. And so money becomes inconsistent or confusing. Effort spikes unpredictably. Success feels personal instead of structural. When the nervous system can't shift orientations, money keeps triggering the same loops. Someone who leads with pressure tries to solve everything by pushing. Someone who leads with sensitivity tries to solve everything by accommodating. Someone who leads with clarity tries to solve everything by explaining. Someone who leads with adaptability keeps waiting for the right moment to land. None of those are wrong. They're just incomplete. When integration starts to happen, money changes character. It stops feeling like a referendum on who you are, and it stops wildly swinging between expansion and contraction. It will ebb and flow, but it won't require constant self-management. And that's not because life or money got simpler. It's because the system became more capable. Somatically, integration looks like this. The body can hold pressure without bracing, and then soften without collapsing. Attention can narrow to act, and then widen to sense. The voice can become precise without distancing, warm without leaking. Presence can become firm without being forceful. From the outside, this reads like maturity, or steadiness, or leadership. From the inside, it feels quieter. Money doesn't feel dramatic, and decisions don't feel charged. Visibility doesn't feel like total exposure, and receiving doesn't feel like taking. And this is why people with integrated nervous systems often seem to make money in ways that may even look boring, because they're consistent, they're present, they're unrushed, it's undramatic. They're not chasing money and they're not avoiding it. They're responding to what's actually being asked of them moment by moment, and then bringing that energy to the field. And that's the real shift. Money stops being something you have to motivate yourself into or protect yourself from. It becomes a coordination, like a dance that you know how to do. This is why integration can't be faked. You can't think your way into it. You can't posture. You can't brand your way into it. And you can't adopt someone else's style and expect it to hold. Integration only happens when your body is trained to access different orientations under real conditions: pressure, uncertainty, visibility, and relationship. That's what somatic work actually does. If you've been watching this series and you recognize different parts of yourself in different videos, that's the point. You're not meant to choose a skin and live into it forevermore. You are meant to build range. Now, if you haven't taken the quiz and you want to know where you're starting from, the Somatic Skins assessment is linked below. It'll show you which orientation currently leads. Not so you can stay there, but as the start of a conversation, so you know what's easiest for you and then what needs cultivation. And if you want to train this, not as an idea, but as a lived capacity that holds a real impact for you, your work, your evolution, that is the work we are doing inside of the Prestige. We don't train people how to make money. We train your nervous system so money stops being harder than it needs to be. That is the through line of this entire series. Money doesn't require you to become someone else. It is inviting your system to stop fighting itself. And when that happens, everything else simplifies. I hope you have enjoyed this series as much as I have in sharing the topic with you. If you don't mind, please do take a moment and like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And I will look forward to continuing the conversation in the comments below, and see you next time.